Right, so we've spoken a thing or two about deep change, and I'd probably like to elaborate on it a little. I think I told you about how deep change is like only possible through scientific temperament, or rather, I hate the words tools, but I guess we just gonna have to stick with it for the intents and purposes of this video. And one of the things that mm, is like a prerequisite to even you know to even what to even go about what tool you want to use is well, self awareness, and that is something a surprising number of people don't have. And you can probably imagine how bad the tool situation is. But yeah, no, that's not really the point of this video. What I want to talk about in this video is maybe compassion, or self compassion, or I'd essentially want to probably argue the case that if you're being excessively harsh on yourself, you're probably doing a disservice to yourself and your society and the values and everything. Or rather, the thing with me, all the bad things that I've done, bad is like, quote unquote bad. It's like, patterns of behavior that I wasn't necessarily too proud of. Things that I'd done out of hurt or jealousy or this or that or that or this. They're all, well, they've all never really been fixed or addressed because I just be too hard on myself. Whenever, firstly, I didn't even accept myself for feeling most of it because I thought I was a bad, rotten person. And this voice comes directly from the society, by the way. I can imagine like, a lot of cases, okay? Let's talk about a clingy guy, or yeah, let's talk about a clingy guy is like a great example. Someone who wouldn't easily take no for an answer. And I absolutely understand, okay? The empathy really has to start from the victim, but on a deeper level, the guy is struggling as well. And society, it's all okay. When I say society, I see really two parts of the society. It's the girls is, they're just bashing the guy left and right. It's like, all men or guys or these creeps, this other this, and there's the other side that hurt people as well, who hear all of this, and they do a counter attack of their own by saying, well, men are superior, or men are this, or men are that. And it just turned into this unfortunate crisis of men versus women, or this versus that, when in reality we really do need each other. We all need each other. I never think it's been men versus women or this versus that. I think it's always been the emotionally aware people versus the not so aware ones. Anyway, back to my point. Most of those issues, I probably owe my younger self an apology. Some of the creative work that I've been doing is in that direction. Like, I make content creation is like a thing. So it's just me probably dedicating songs or things to my childhood self. But anyway, that's not the point of the video. But I've been excessively hard on myself. Point one, due to a lack of understanding. Um, Point two, it just looks like the way, because it is so emphasized. Damn it, so emphasized by all the people around you, and that is a very cruel and unjust way to treat people. Because even yourself, if you are actively, if there is an issue in society that you are actively struggling with, let's say you're a girl and you are sick and tired of the way, in all the ways society doesn't treat you as, equal to a guy. You don't, you definitely don't start out by hating men, or those kind of directions. And instead of helping the problem, instead of helping the problem at hand, it's creating more animosity. And we now have more guys counter-attacking, more people who are fine with the way that the things are. They are even more confident. So we really have two sides that are split. And the way we are heading as a society, our algorithmic content delivery isn't really helping as well. um, Things should come with empathy and love and everything, because I may be wrong, but I'd like to believe that everyone deep down is a good person. Good is again very subjective, but yeah. And yeah, okay, I am fully aware. Okay, I'm fully aware of all of my I know damn well all the bad thoughts I get towards people that have done me wrong, or it's just maybe belittling them, or this or that or that or this. I am fully aware of all the things that come to my mind. And in this way, I think we will talk about arrogance a little later. But that is something I've come to accept of myself. And I am willing to fix that punitive mode, or whatever, the part of me that's overcompensating for, I think, the lack of self-confidence, or maybe the fear that I'm not good enough. And that will only come if I just first accept myself as who I am. And I have plenty to be proud of. I've done amazing things. I'm this, I'm that, yeah. And let me first hold myself in a nice way. Let me first somehow convince myself that I am still worthy of respect, irrespective of looking down on people, talking down on people. You are still worth something. Every human is worth something. And I'd probably even argue that the fact that I'm advocating for change is if any reason more of a reason that I'm worthy. And point number two is about being genuine, something that we discussed in the last videos as well. Society, the way society teaches, the society does. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong, okay? Religion, all these great scriptures, they have somehow arrived at the truth. The Buddha, or all these people have, in ways, definitely arrived at the truth. And there is a very, very good intersection between psychology and the religious texts, like it or not. Yeah, I fully admit that they are there in religion, but the way it's being enforced is, the ethos is probably lost through generations. And you now have society kind of teaching you values, but it the kind of thinking, or the temperament behind it is gone. I can think of so many examples, okay? People who pretend to be nice. By the way, these kinds of people, they have, like, they say the meanest of things in private, okay? But when it comes to keeping a face, or they have convinced themselves as well, okay? They have fully convinced themselves with this idea of the fact that they're nice people. They'd gladly laugh at you behind their back, behind your back, not their back. They'll gladly laugh at you behind their back. They'd gladly poke fun at you. Okay, they're guilty of a lot of sins, but somehow they think if they somehow conform to some ways of some ways of what society thinks is fine, or what society is trying to advocate, it's somehow made up for. That that's like very very disturbing, because on the outside they're this very nice people, and it's even false humility, if I should, if I can go that far. They just say all these humble words, all in the nature to appear as good people, or whatever. And the very scary thing is they have somehow convinced themselves that they're actually good people. And parallel to like the self compassion thing I was talking about, a parallel, okay, self compassion thing is like, it will probably block progress, but this is actively doing you bad, you and the society bad, because you're not fixing the underlying issues, you're masking your issues. And on top of that, you have somehow convinced yourself that you're this great person, and you have this, you have these ideals and these values. So in that sense, I have to say I respect arrogant people, or people who wear their heart on their sleeve more, because I was, I was ashamed of myself for, I had this ideology, I'm going to admit that I had this ideology that creation was the highest virtue, that the ultimate thing you could do in life is to be useful to other people. And I can start off by how I start my day. I use the toothpaste, a toothbrush, a door handle, all things not invented by me. Society, everything are all concepts that other people have built. If I'm recording this on a phone or putting this on the internet, they're all great things done by other people, all these concepts. So I think I owe a debt of gratitude to the world, like, a sense of contribution. So when I looked at people not have this ideology, or they just let me keep myself happy, I was, or most, I think most 20 something year olds, I think, are doing that. They party every weekend, and their life really starts and ends with themselves. It's, there's no bigger sense of community, or whatnot. And I'd argue with people that that's something I don't really like, and I can really respect that. And this has led to animosity. This has, I got shock reactions as well. I was probably even compensating for my feelings of inadequacy by projecting myself as superior to other people. I am aware, and I am willing to accept that now, so that I won't do it again, so that this is not going to happen again. But anyway, that is still a very solid philosophy, but it probably has to come from a clean place. So one of like the cooler things I heard was depth should be used, you know to benefit others, not to, like, not as this tool of defense, or you know something like that. Yeah. So that is really my whole point. Wearing a heart on your sleeve, or these facades, or whatever that people have created, these dangerous oasis. It is extremely dangerous, and I'd rather deal with the shame of others thinking I'm some arrogant prick than live my entire life, you know in ways that I'd convinced myself where I'm a nice person, when in fact I'm really not. I'd rather be as open. I'd rather, that is the entire point of communication, or having your beliefs examined. You'll never know if for your entire life you just go and write, or oh boy. Yeah. So I am no longer, I'm no longer that ashamed to admit that I've been arrogant, or I use depth as a way to look down on people. Acceptance, I guess, is the key to change.